Morning, dear students. Nice to meet all of you once again for a physical class, and I hope you're all attentive, smart, focus on what we are going to discuss today. Today is the third part of the lesson, Glimpses of India. We had already discussed two parts. You remember the two parts? Only one part we discussed, right? What was the first part? One or two? I think two. We discussed Assam and we also discussed Goa. Okay, so today is the final part. What we are going to discuss today is something very interesting because it is related to tourism. What is it related to? Tourism. You know what tourism is, right? There are hundreds and hundreds of tourist spots in India. Many. According to the state, there are different tourist spots. You go to Delhi, that's a tourist destination because politically important city. You go to Agra, there is Taj Mahal. Then you come down a bit, you'll find hill stations like Kullu, Manali, Shimla, Nainital, okay, Dehradun, all tourist destinations. They are known for their distinct features. Then you come to Madhya Pradesh, you'll have Panchmari, and then you have some cave temples in Maharashtra like the Ajanta caves, Ellora caves. Then you come deep south, you come towards the southern side, okay, then Maharashtra is there. And then you have Kerala. Kerala is a heaven on earth. It's known as God's very own kingdom, okay, God's own country. Then you come to the land of temples, which is known by the name Tamil Nadu, where I come from. Then you go to Mysore, you have Bangalore, the cleanest city in India, okay. Then you have the palace, okay. Then Rajasthan. So if you go by the states, every state has something to offer. That's the speciality and beauty of our country. We call our country as the Indian Peninsula. It's a subcontinent. That is how it is defined in geography. Indian subcontinent. Continent is large. Subcontinent, just smaller than a continent. Indian subcontinent. It is a melting pot of different cultures, you know. India is known for its population, its religions, its culture, languages, cuisine. You go to Goa, you have the Portuguese cuisine. You come to Kerala, you have the South Indian cuisine. Go to Rajasthan, you have its own cuisine. Hundreds and hundreds of cuisines, different dresses, okay. Go to south, you'll find people wearing that dhoti shirt. You come to Punjab, you have the kurta, pajama. You go to Kashmir, on top they have a long cloak, okay. Different kinds of dresses. That's what makes India beautiful, you know. India is beautiful not because it has one culture and one language and one religion, but it is a blend, melting pot. You call it as the melting pot of different cultures, languages, cuisines, faiths. Okay. Even in the complexion, there is difference. You come to the northern part of India, you will find people to be of fair complexion. You go to the southern part, you will find people to have wheatish complexion like me. So we don't look good. But when you come to the northern part of India, people look very good. That's because of the climatic condition. It's also a land of varying climates. Interesting. Yes, you go to Kashmir, it's cold, freezing cold. Come to Rajasthan, scorching heat. And in the winter again, it's extreme cold. You come to south, it's not very cold, but it's mild winters and harsh summers. Different kinds of, climates. Different kinds of crops. Come to Uttar Pradesh, you have the sugarcane cultivation, the oil seeds cultivation. Of course, rice is also there. You go to Kashmir, saffron cultivation. You go to Rajasthan, dry land. You have, jowar, sorghum, and all these pulses. Okay, you come down to Kerala, full of coconuts. The very name Kerala suggests that it's a land of coconuts. Go to Karnataka, sandalwood. Okay, go to Tamil Nadu, you have different kinds of bananas, crops. So, if you study this country, that is India, it's very unique. Okay. Now, my focus is on this. Koorg. Koorg is actually a district in Karnataka. What is it? It is a district in Karnataka, and it is a very special district. Smallest district, but the most beautiful. Of course, Bangalore is a metro city. Bangalore is a beautiful city, clean city, okay? Pleasant climate. But you don't have much of trees in Bangalore because it's an industrial city. But here, it is a district with 30% of evergreen forests. All the year, the forests remain green. You have all kinds of evergreen trees. And the climate is very mild, in the sense, pleasant. Not too hot and not too cold. During the rainy season, it pours and pours heavy rain, okay? During the other parts of the year, it is very, very pleasant. So you go there, you'll feel the clouds touching you. Very chilly, chilly weather. And that is why many tourists rush to this place. It's a tourist destination, and the best time to visit this place is between September to March. So if you have a chance of going down south, then you must try this place. Visit this place at least once. 30% of the district is full of evergreen forests, and it is known for coffee plantations. There are only a few places in India where coffee is cultivated because you need the right climate for coffee cultivation. Karnataka is the only state in India where you have large-scale coffee plantations. Karnataka is known for many things. It is known for silk, it is known for coffee, it is also known for sandalwood. Of course, software industry. Okay, so evergreen forests, coffee cultivation. So if you take a kind of ride through this district, on both sides of the road, transport is very good there because the Karnataka government has made it as comfortable as possible for the tourists. On both sides of the road, you will find coffee plantations. You'll get to see coffee plantations. Rich quality coffee is produced from this particular place, that is Koorg. Koorg is actually a name, it is a tribal name. You see, we have tribals in India. Tribal population in India is a sizable population. So, the people who live here are known as Kodavas. I have not written that here. So, the people of Koorg are called as Kodavas. And Kodagu is the language. It is the name given in the Kodagu language. They have their own language. Okay, a tribal language. Now you know how these people came and settled in this hill station. These people, the Kodavas, they have a very ancient history. They have a part of Greek culture in them, and some are of the Arabic origin. Greeks and Arabs. Very interesting. Not in every part of India you will have people who have Greek connections and Arabic connections. You see, if you go back to history, you will learn the great General Alexander the Great. Have you all studied about Alexander the Great? Sikandar. Have you heard this name? He was a great king, Macedonian king. He wanted to bring the entire world under his control, rule. So he went on invading countries one after another. Then he came to India and he met a rival, a very, very brave king. What was the name of that king? Porus. This is history. So there was a fight, a tough fight between Alexander the Great and Porus on the banks of Jhelum. Jhelum is a river, okay, which flows in Kashmir. Part of Jhelum flows in Kashmir and the rest flows in Pakistan. Actually, it has its origin in Pakistan. Right? So what happened on the banks of Jhelum? There was a battle, a tough battle, and Porus fought till the end. He did not give up. But anyway, Alexander won. Then he was taken as prisoner to the court of Alexander, and Alexander asked him, "How do you want me to treat you?" And he said, "Treat me like a king, because I'm still a king." He was inspired by his bravery, and he said, set him free. Porus was the only king who gave a challenge to Alexander the Great in India. So, when the army of Alexander was moving towards south, the army came down to south, and when they entered this place, they passed through this area, that is Koorg. Most of the soldiers felt tired, and they thought, now we cannot go back home. Returning became impossible. So what happened? Those soldiers, they settled down in the peaceful place called Koorg. So what happened? The Greek soldiers made their settlements there. They married with the local people there, and a new generation was born. That is how the people of Koorg came into existence. If you study history, you will learn about Chandragupta. Have you heard about the great king Chandragupta? When Chandragupta was ruling India, Alexander went back. Alexander, he invaded many countries. He came to India and he entrusted the administration to his general, who was known as Seleucus Nicator. What was his name? Seleucus Nicator. Very interesting history. He said, "You manage the affairs, I'm going." And he was moving. On the way he died. But then Seleucus Nicator wanted to make a friendship with Chandragupta. So what happened? He gave his daughter Helen. He had a beautiful daughter whose name was Helen. And Helen was married to Chandragupta. That is how the Greek culture came into India. That was the beginning. But even before that, Greeks had come to India for trade. Romans, Greeks, Arabs, they all had trade relationship. But with the arrival of Vasco da Gama, the shortest route to India was discovered. We found. Okay. So this Greek connection is always with the people of Koorg. How do you know that they have Greek connections? Because even today, if you go to witness the marriage ceremonies, okay, they have the Greek influence. In Goa, the Portuguese influence. Yes or no? In Koorg, it is the Greek influence. Certain dresses which they wear, the cuisine, the dishes which are served, and the fighting techniques are still of the Greeks. So these Koorg people, they are very brave and very hospitable. Two distinct characters. Brave and hospitable. You know, the Indian Army has a regiment called the Koorg Regiment. On 26 January, you will see all the divisions, battalions in the Indian Army. 26 January, Republic Day Parade. Do you watch the Republic Day Parade? Yes or no? So when you watch that parade, you will see all the, units of the Indian Army passing. And the President takes the guard of honor. Yes or no? So in that, you will find different regiments. The Rajputana Rifles, the Assam Rifles, the Madras Regiment, the Koorg Regiment. Okay? So different kinds of regiments. And the Koorg Regiment is one of the most famous regiments. Sikh Regiment. Okay? They're all brave soldiers, and Koorg Regiment is full of the soldiers who belong to this area, and they are known for their bravery, valor. How do we know this? When India became independent in the year 1947, it needed a chief for the army, Indian Army. You see, Indian Army has three, divisions. Air Force, Navy and Infantry. So, the chief of the air staff, the chief of the infantry, and the chief of the naval staff. 3 divisions have 3 chiefs. We will find out who are the chiefs right now. So the president is the chief of the armed forces. So when you say armed forces, infantry, navy, air force, all the 3 divisions come. So after independence, the first general, army general, was General Kariyappa. His name was, Kariyappa. A tall man, a brave man. He was British educated. They sent him for studies to the Sandhurst Military Academy in UK. So after getting his training from the UK Military Academy, he came to India, and as soon as he came, India became independent and he became the first army general of the infantry section. He became the first army general, General Kariyappa, and he was from Koorg. So that is why we can say these people are very brave people. The Punjabis, the Sikhs, they are very brave. The Nepalis, Gorkha regiment, they are very brave. The Madras regiment, intelligent and brave. So every regiment has its own distinct features. Koorg regiment is known for its bravery. They'll do anything. And they have a special privilege. You see, if you want to possess a gun with you, if you want to possess a rifle, if you want to possess a revolver, if you want to possess any firearm, you have to obtain a license from the Indian government. Without a license, you cannot have a firearm with you. And if you're caught, non-bailable warrant, you cannot come out of jail. It's a criminal offense. But these people who belong to the region of Koorg are given a special privilege that they can own firearms without any license. Just go to a shop, get the receipt, that is enough. Buy a revolver, buy a pistol, keep a gun, nobody is going to ask you. Because a special privilege was given to these people because General Kariyappa was the first army general who represented the Koorg community. That's why. Understood? So from this we can understand how brave these people are. They also have some Arabic touch or Arabic, influence in their lives. Maybe some Arab traders came there. They had trade relationship. And in course of time, they must have got married to the local women there. And the Arab origin came into existence. So if you see the people's dress, it is given there in the book. They have a kind of long cloak, you see. You notice this dress? Yeah? It's found on page number, what is the page? 90. So, by looking at this dress, you can come to understand it has some sort of similarity with the Muslims of the Middle East. Yes, you go to Middle East, I have been to the Middle East, and I've seen people wearing a long cloak, white. So, from top to bottom, it is of one piece, single piece. You understand? So, that particular dress is known as kufiya. In Arabic, it is known as kufiya. That long dress. The same dress is worn by the people of Koorg and it is known as kufiya. So, do you see a similarity between kufiya and kupiya? The pronunciation is almost similar, yes or no? So, they have a dress which is known by the name kupiya and a tassel or a sash, you can see. Okay, you can see that picture. They have a sash tied, and that sash is an ornamental sash, very precious, beautifully decorated. So, from this we can understand that they have some connections with the Arabs. And of course, they do have their connections with the Greek, because the Greek culture and the Arabic culture have become part of their lives. Okay, so the Koorg people. Now, these people have a love for narrating tales of valor. You go to any person in Koorg and you strike a conversation, you just talk with that person. He or she will definitely talk about some incident of war or some brave and adventurous incident. They love narrating tales of valor, tales of bravery. All these go to tell you only one thing, that the people of Koorg are not cowards. They are brave, they are bold, they are adventurous, and they can do anything for their country. Alright? Okay. Now, this, as I told you, this place, a tourist destination, is also a place for its own flora and fauna. You just enter this particular place, Madikeri. Madikeri is a district and this is the entry point. See, if you want to go to Northeast, the entry point is Guwahati. Okay, I have been in Assam, so that's why I am telling you. That's a fact. Without entering Guwahati or without landing in Guwahati, you cannot go to any northeastern state. That is a gateway. Mumbai is the gateway of India. Guwahati is the gateway to the northeast. And this is this Madikeri. It's also a district. Without touching Madikeri, you cannot enter the Koorg region. So there is a bus stop here in Madikeri. You get down at Madikeri from Bangalore or from Mangalore or from Mysore. The distance is 250 kilometers from Mysore and 250 kilometers from Bangalore. Take a bus. If you want to take a train from Mangalore, 250 kilometers. And from Mysore, it is 240 kilometers. You can easily come to this place. There are buses flying between Mysore and Madikeri. So, get down here and there will be taxis available. You can take a taxi. There are bikes available. You can rent a bike. Okay, so they have some 1,000 rupees or something like that. You keep the bike with you, just go wherever you want in Koorg, and once your tour is finished, once the sightseeing is finished, you can return the bike. So that facility is also there. You see, when you make an entry into this, what you call, beautiful tourist destination, that is Koorg, you will see a lot of birds. Every place in India has its own flora and fauna. Go to Northeast, it has its own birds and flowers. Okay, orchids are famous in Northeast. And there are different birds like the dragopan and all that. So, every place in India has its own flora and fauna. What is the meaning of flora? The flowers found in a particular region. Fauna, animals found in a particular region. Okay, so here you will see thousands of birds, different kinds of birds. So you get to listen to the sounds, okay, of different parrots, then animals, flying squirrel, wild boars, butterflies, okay, and elephants. There is an elephant camp there you can visit, okay, 40 rupees or 50 rupees per person. So you get an entry and you can see how the elephants are being looked after. It's a beautiful lake. Elephants come there to take bath. They are washed, given a good scrub. Then they are fed with sugarcane, coconut, plantains, okay. Some baby elephants are given milk. So you can see that, right? It remains open till 4 p.m. or something. So you can see the elephant camps. Macaques, langurs, different kinds of monkeys jumping from one tree to another. Okay, you can see all of them. Insects, leeches. You have to be careful because you find a lot of leeches in Koorg. So you have to be careful about that. And you also have an important place which is known as Thalai Kaveri. Yes, this one. Have you heard of the name Kaveri? In geography? There are many perennial rivers in India. Can you name one perennial river? Do you know what the meaning of the word perennial is? What is perennial? Sorry? Say louder. Good. Sit down. Rivers which do not lack water, rivers which flow throughout the year, they are known as perennial rivers. Ashu, give me an example for a perennial river in India. Sorry? Louder. Ganga. Good. You give an example for another perennial river. Very good. Ganga, Brahmaputra and Kaveri. Kaveri has its origin in a place called Koorg, and that origin is known as Talai Kaveri. Talai Kaveri. What is the meaning of Talai? Talai means head. In Tamil it is head. In Kannada it is head. So Talai means head. Talai Kaveri, the head of Kaveri. If you want to put it in a simple language, the origin of Kaveri. So Kaveri originates from this place, okay, and then it passes through Karnataka and makes its entry into Tamil Nadu. It passes via Hogeneckal, Trichy, many districts. So this is a very important river, and in fact, this is a major perennial river, or the only biggest or largest perennial river that is running in south. We have only one river. The difference between North India and South India is, in North India you have two big rivers, okay, that is the Ganga and Brahmaputra. And if you come down to Andhra, you have the Krishna and Godavari. But when you come down to south, in Karnataka, we have only one perennial river, that is the Kaveri, and that supplies water for the state of Tamil Nadu. There isn't any perennial river in our state. So if the Karnataka government gives water, if it gives water, then cultivation will go on, irrigation will be possible. That's why there is always a dispute between the two governments. We are not given enough water, we have to give this much of water, and the case goes up to Supreme Court. It is still pending there. Okay, but the fact is that Talai Kaveri is the place of origin for Kaveri. Okay, and you can go to that place and you can see the origin of that, what do you call, Kaveri. It's a beautiful waterfall. And there is also kind of what to say, a temple which is known by the name Omkareshwar Temple. So people go there, take a bath, okay, holy bath, and after that they make an entry into this Omkareshwar Temple. Okay, then they offer pujas and they can come back. Beautiful climate, okay, very chilly and very pleasant. And the most important kind of feature of this Koorg is that it is one of the less polluted, what you call, tourist destinations in India. You go to any tourist destination, you will find people littering. Indians are famous for littering, whereas the Westerners and Europeans are famous for keeping their country clean. But we have the habit of dirtying places, writing all nonsense on the walls of historical monuments, okay? And the foreigners, they pity us. When they see Indians doing that, they think very cheap of Indians. What kind of people these are? We are protecting our monuments, they are destroying their monuments. Monuments they have become a place to express your love. All the love expressions can be seen on the walls. This is a fact. Please don't do that in future. Okay, don't destroy, don't disfigure the historical monuments. That's one point I would like to say. But here you don't have any chance of disfiguring because no historical monuments, only natural beauty. And littering is prohibited. If you have a chance to visit this place, keep in mind, you cannot litter. If you litter, the police will catch you. On the spot, 500 rupees fine, even if you drop a small piece of paper on the road. So they maintain that pollution-free atmosphere. Okay, so you will enjoy that, right? So different flora, different fauna, elephant camps, and one more thing, with this I would like to close. The Buddhists from Tibet, they came and settled down here in Koorg. You know the country Tibet, it is under the rule of China, and the Chinese government is giving a lot of trouble to these poor Tibetans. They are fighting for their autonomy, they are fighting for their freedom. Still, the Chinese government is not ready to accede to their request. It's not ready to listen to their demands. Dalai Lama, the political and religious head of Tibet, is still a wanderer. He goes on visiting different places. He has no place in his own country because the Chinese government is against giving independence. So many Tibetans come to Delhi, students come to Delhi to study, and many students have burnt themselves. Immolation. You know what is the meaning of immolation? Setting fire to yourself and killing yourself because they protest the atrocities of the Chinese government. So the Tibetan monks, they were also wandering many years ago. See, the Buddhists, they don't speak much. They pray, they meditate, they reflect, okay? Most of their days spent in prayer, silence. So they love nature, they love the peaceful atmosphere. Somehow from Tibet, they came and landed up in this place. So if they have chosen, okay, Koorg as a place for their meditation and prayer, definitely something must be there. They must have sensed something very holy and divine in this place. Therefore, they put up a monastery, a Tibetan monastery. You go there, you'll find beautiful monastery built in the Chinese style, and all the monks praying, doing little works, small works, keeping the place clean. And they keep their surroundings also clean. They are very health conscious. And they are very much aware about the cleanliness of their surroundings and the temple, the monastery. Okay, spick and span. Okay, you can see your face on the tiles because I've seen that on the YouTube, clean. So you will find a Tibetan monastery there, and you will find a small Tibet there because everything is of the Tibetan culture. Okay, and you see, these are the things I have explained. Adventure sports. Koorg is a place known for adventure sports. What do you mean by adventure sports? Sports related to water sports. They are also part of adventure sports, like bungee jumping. You go to a hill, take a parachute, okay, and then you just dive, okay. That is known as paragliding. You have a glider, and then you glide, that is paragliding. Bungee jumping, just jump with a parachute, a very dangerous and a daring sport. So these are adventure sports. You may risk, you have to take a risk, you may lose your life. But water sports, they are, less dangerous, less adventurous, but very enjoyable. So you can go for rafting. What is the meaning of rafting? You just take a rubber bed-like structure, blow it, gets inflated, sit on that, and then you just keep on moving because the waterfall has its own course. So you just get onto the rafter and keep moving. Okay, you know, there is a term called rapids. What is the meaning of rapids? The place where the force of water is very high is known as rapids. So when you go for rafting, you can enjoy the rapids. The waterfall, as I said, so people go there for rafting, canoeing, a small kind of boat with an oar, and you just keep rowing in that beautiful climate. Canoeing can be done, rock climbing, there are small hills, small hillocks. So people climb rocks, that's an adventure sport. Trekking, the simplest and the most interesting. You'll find many trekkers in this place, having their knapsacks or backpacks and walking faster and faster, okay, moving through forests, enjoying the flora and fauna, okay, and adventure sport. So Koorg is also known for adventurous sports. This, I would say, is one of the unspoiled tourist destinations in India. There are many spoiled tourist destinations, littered, made dirty. You see, people have not even left Mount Everest. Very sad. Everest has become a dumping ground in the world today. All the people who climb Mount Everest, they dump the trash there. Water bottles, plastic plates, polythene bags, okay, many other medicine bottles, glass bottles, trash. And that is why the Nepalese government has made it a rule. When you come down, you have to carry an extra what you call bag, in which at least how many kilos, 100 kilos or 50 kilos, or they have kept a limit. You have to bring the trash and you have to submit it at the base camp. Officers will be checking you. If you come down without collecting any trash, your license to climb mountains will be cancelled once and for all, and you will be fined for that as well. Why these rules? Even Everest is not spared. Even space is not spared. Have you heard of the space trash? You don't know. There are so many space missions, okay, which are there. Many satellites and many astronauts go there and they dump all kinds of trash in the space. So this trash or this garbage keeps on circulating, revolving. Like a planet, the trash has also begun to, revolve the space. Nothing is spared. So we have to kind of keep all these things in mind, okay. Just visiting a tourist place for fun, for enjoyment is good. But don't leave that place dirty when you come back. Keep that in mind. Okay, disfiguring national monuments, littering, okay, public places. We have to put a full stop to this. We keep our homes clean. We keep our toilets clean. We keep our temples clean. But why don't we keep our streets clean? Why don't we keep the public places clean? That sense doesn't come into us so easily. It has to come. When foreigners come here, they teach us many lessons. We can't just blame the foreigners. We have to appreciate them for certain good things as well. So they are very health conscious. They are cleanliness conscious. Whether they are traveling in a bus or in a train in India, they don't just throw the litter away. They look for dustbins. We don't provide dustbins. That's a different thing. So, environmental consciousness is required when we kind of pay a visit to these places. Okay, so Koorg is one of the most definitely, okay, without any doubt, an interesting place, a heaven on earth, okay, unpolluted, very interesting. In case if you get an opportunity in future, you do make a visit, okay, because my explanation will not be sufficient. You will enjoy only when you experience and see things by yourself. Till you see and experience, you want to get the joy. Okay, so with this we close today, right?